Team has to be excited about them getting back to defining their identity, which is defense. It's not the steals leading for easy ones the other way. It's grinded out defense in the half-court setting. A potent Irish offense with double-figure scores spread out on the floor. A balanced effort. You talk about usually Hub and Goodwin combining for 5 from 3. What a job Virginia's defense has done.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of hard to believe. Just the breakdown and where the scoring has come from for Notre Dame. And if you joined us late, remember Trey Wirtz sprained left ankle late in the first half. He will not return to this game as you might have expected anyway.
And Mike, all that to say, the Irish only trail by 2 possessions, very much within striking distance.
Kihei Clark delivers a triple off the second chance for Virginia.
25% three-point shooter on the season, has seen that number dip about 10 percentage points from last year. 2 of 4 today. Kihei Clark providing offensive stability.
Yeah, Virginia leads by 9 in its ACC opener. Prentice Hub, no good. He's now 0 of 3, all from beyond the arc.
Can be feast or famine for Prentice Hub at times. Look no further than the Purdue game. Held scoreless. Yeah. Is he on the verge of a repeat performance here? Irish fans better hope not.
Hauser with a turnaround, and the lead has swelled to 11, as large as it's been for Virginia. The Virginia team coming off the 20-plus point loss against Gonzaga. The #1 team in the country gave up 98. Much better result so far through 22 minutes. Dane Goodwin way too strong. He is scoreless as well, and now 0 of 4.
And Mike, when you're scoreless and you're a scorer, you want to try and get something easy to get yourself going a little bit. These are falling away NBA threes from the scorers for the Irish that aren't going to get them on track.
Take it to the rim more ball movement. Those were some of the things you said, right, in the first half?
Yeah, get some movement. Try and catch a ball screen. Give yourself some sort of advantage. That's one.
Wide open, and Dane Goodwin is scoreless no longer.
A dribble drive. Get your feet in the paint or close to it. As Durham swings it out. That defense nowhere around feet set for Goodwin. And that's when he's at his best, catch and shoot.
Guy who averages 16 a game from the Columbus, Ohio area. 8-point margin. Hauser, a little hesitation. Clark off the shot fake. Hauser wide open. Rebound to Durham. Notre Dame running with Goodwin attacking and finishing.
Pushing the pace and pursuing an opportunity as it presents itself. It's not going to be a lot of those in transition versus Virginia. So to outlet that thing, get it going, allow for the blow-by for Goodwin. 2 sequences to get him going.
Yeah, it feels like you got to take that chance to run if you get it off the Durham rebound.
San Francisco was able to do that a few times in that early upset to begin the season. Some transition points. Goodwin is a guy you got to respect the 3, but again, pushing pace, Hub gets it out. Hauser tries to close out, does a decent job, but simply quicker. Goodwin is able to attack the closeout and get to the rim. But again, it builds off being able to knock down the 3 to have to respect it early, and then that very next sequence gets the blow-by.
Couple of really big games recently for Dane Goodwin, who again, Mike Bray said coming into this one, he's playing as well as anyone in the ACC. Huff blew a tire off the turnover. Durham running the floor, lost it on the way up, and Murphy the rebound.
It's a bad decision for Durham. Or not from Durham, excuse me, from Hub. You don't give it to Durham running the floor like that. He's a big. You're setting him up to fail.
And Kihei Clark makes him pay with a chance at 3. Clark, the junior point guard from Woodland Hills, California, he was brutally honest after that Gonzaga game about his own play and about the team as well. Maybe a bit uncomfortable. He said some of us playing scared out there. Certainly Gonzaga just looks lethal right now when you stack them up across the country. Leshevsky with a third triple.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to dive down low to the big there and leave a 57% three-point shooter in Nate Leshevsky, who's got it going again in this game. No different from all the others this season. When that goes down into the post, you can't help too far off.
He was helping on the Hauser drive. Morcell sinks a triple. That's a nice sight for Virginia fans for the sophomore from Fort Washington, Maryland.
And 2 of 11 coming into this one, and we know the struggles from beyond the arc for him last season. Big for his confidence.
Well, good cut, but Morcell gets the block on Hub. Clark on the drive, blowing by Goodwin. Oh, Durham, good fake to Hub, the stuff, and the foul.
Juwan Durham putting some respect on 1-1's name, showcasing all the skills. Big fella putting it on the deck. Irish hanging around in this with Jay Huff. Little okey doke. Durham finds a lane. And the baby Boilers, back when Robbie Hummel, one of our colleagues, was playing, and those guys grew together and won a lot of games. And they don't have to be as talented, but when you played that long together, it needs to start translating into a little bit more toughness, finding ways to win games. And I know Coach Bray is beginning to expect that from the guys. This one can go a long way in exercising the demons versus Virginia and the history there and futility, but also versus ranked teams.
Clark with a drive, couldn't finish it. Yeah, it was one of those stats. I don't know about you, but for me, it was hard to understand when I heard it after the Duke game that it's 0 for the last 24 for Notre Dame against ranked teams. Goes all the way back to the Maui Invitational when the Irish won that, took down Wichita State to win it in 2017.
It's a mismatch. Leshevsky's got to use his height, use his size and his height here versus Morcell.
He keeps backing down Morcell. Who picks up
That's where Nate's grown. Mike, that's where Nate has grown. The toughness I'm seeing from the big, the 6'11 junior. He's not just a sharpshooter. It's high IQ basketball. He says, okay, I'm 6'11. I got Morcell at 6'3 defending me. That's 8 inches. 8 inches needs to lead to me getting fouled and getting to the line, preferably an and one, but points to be had.
Hey, next Wednesday, it's a men's basketball triple header. It's going to start with number 18, Florida State and Syracuse at 4:30 Eastern. Then number 24, Virginia Tech, Mike Young's team against Chris Mack's Louisville Cardinals. Then 8:30, it's number 20, Duke, hosting Boston College at Cameron Indoor. All games right here on ACCN and the app. So, Jordan, would you force feed Nate Leshevsky more because of what you're talking about, because of how he's played tonight, or just let things go naturally here?
Well, I'll tell you what, the front court for the Irish in a program that's known for their guards and the productivity between Juwan Durham and Nate Leshevsky, it's the only reason Notre Dame's within striking distance. So, yeah, credit to Juwan Durham. Get your rest on the bench because they're going to need you as well in this one. Absolutely, you should always make it a mission to find Nate Leshevsky. What he brings offensively to this team, and it can score at every level, especially when your guards aren't getting it going. Find the hot hand.
Yeah, those two have 31 of the 37 for Notre Dame in this one. Clark got fouled by Prentice Hub, and Kihei Clark will head to the strike. Clark's got a dozen for Virginia, pairing up with Huff, who leads the way with 13. Tomorrow, New Year's Eve, it's a matinee women's basketball matchup. Notre Dame and Miami, 1 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Clark misses, and the rebound pulled down by Trey Murphy. A few offensive rebounds here, generating second chances for Virginia after intermission. Murphy short as Durham went under the screen.
I was just about to say, it'll drive a coach crazy to give up a rebound on a free throw block out. If it would have led to 3 points, Coach Bray may have lost his mind on the sidelines there.
Pretty calm now, sitting back in the chair on the Irish sideline. Risky pass by Durham to a cutting Cormac Ryan, who's on the deck to rescue it. He takes the timeout and retains possession for Notre Dame. Quick timeout, then right back.
He's doing it from every level, but Jawan Durham really coming out there from the start, demanding the basketball on the low block, and his confidence brimming has made this a two-possession game. And Notre Dame just a couple threes away as one of the better three-point shooting teams in the country, tying this up.
Yeah, they beat that shot clock horn coming out of the timeout with the first points from Prentice Hub to cut this to 4. Cormac Ryan matched up with Kihei Clark. Caden Shedrick, the very promising redshirt freshman, got Durham in the air and finishes with 2.
Shedrick coming in, the young man, the freshman, with a very cerebral move, utilizing the pivot. Great footwork. Patient. Rarely do you see patience, especially coming off the bench this late in the game. Usually they're moving fast, shuffle the feet, or take a bad one. Impressed with the deliberate motion, ability to execute.
Foul on the floor at this end. We go back to the other, looking at Caden Shedrick.
Shedrick said, give me that thing. Let me wait for it to clear out. Then, get him up in the air. Durham, a shot blocker, not quite the best in Notre Dame history. He's got some work to do there. But Shedrick, how about that move?
Was that like you going up against Ryan Humphrey, your freshman year in practice?
Yeah, except Humphrey dunked it, stared at me as he shuffled his feet on the way back to the other side.
Durham dunks it at the rim, and he's up to 14 to go along with the 19 from Nate Laszewski.
I remember my visit to Notre Dame, my unofficial visit. I was guarding Ryan Humphrey as I was deciding to go to Notre Dame. He dunked it on me first possession. My old man was there, stood up and started cheering for Ryan Humphrey, who dunked on me on my unofficial visit. And at that point, I knew my dad likes good basketball over his son any day of the week.
I mean, that is cold-blooded from the family Cornet.
That'll be passed down, no doubt. Ruthlessness in the Cornet household.
Oh, Cormac Ryan not on the same page there with Dane Goodwin, but Jawan Durham helping lead Notre Dame. They're hanging around. 4-point game here, Jordan.
Jawan Durham billed as a shot blocker. He has no fear in this one offensively. The look of a determined big. The Irish hanging around, trail by 4.
Bowl 24, keeping it real with Fernando Tatis.
Diakite in that video, but also Braxton Key. 2 pieces sorely missed for Virginia in terms of stability, winning players, but defensively the versatility and the things they're able to erase mistake-wise from any defense because of how good they were in that position.
Yeah, we've talked about it at length here tonight, but a different group for Virginia defensively so far this year, trying to improve and get back to the level they were at last year, and that they so typically are under Tony Bennett. Notre Dame's been down by as many as 11 tonight, and they cut it to 2. Nate Laszewski, have yourself a night.
If you told me Hub and Goodwin would combine for 7 points, at this point in the game, I'd say Virginia would be up 20. But the front court fight from the Irish and the inability for Virginia to get stops in the interior has been the difference in why this is a one-possession game. And you talk about the growth of Laszewski. Look at the spacing here. This is one-on-one. This is Hauser versus Laszewski. And by the time help side comes from Shedrick, it's too late. That is just beautiful execution in space and isolation for the big fella to finish.
He's got 21. Same number he had against Kentucky when he had 19 of those 21 against the Wildcats in the first half at Rupp. Jogo cuts, gives it up. Hub is open. Notre Dame was trying to take the lead as Hauser tracks down the rebound. Clark and a foul on the floor. Remember, no Trey Wirtz for Notre Dame. Sprained left ankle right toward the end of that first half. Huff playing with 3 fouls. Dealt with foul trouble last time out against Gonzaga as well.
It's great defensive effort from Durham to move his feet, keep him in front.
They force Hauser into a contested 3. Goodwin the rebound.
Sam Hauser has not found his spot yet in this offense for Virginia, and that's where they will evolve on that side of the floor. He needs to find out where his shots are to come from in this offense. It's a preseason first-team all-conference guy that isn't confident in his role offensively quite yet.
Huff commits his 4th foul with 9:40 to go. Juwan Durham's going to the line, and for the 2nd game in a row for the 5th-year senior, Jay Huff. He's dealing with a whole lot of foul trouble.
And that limited Huff's ability to be truly impactful in that Gonzaga game where, to be honest, outside of Kihei Clark, not too many people had an impact. But for that foul trouble to bleed into this one where he has become such an offensive force, but also in a game where Notre Dame's front court is having their way, you do not want to see the 7-footer running to the bench with this much time left in a game where Notre Dame is about to tie it up with this free throw.
I think that's a great point, because it's one thing, Jordan, if this is Notre Dame with its downshift lineup, as Mike Bray calls it, with the 4 around 1 being Leschewski, but because no Trey Wirtz and because how well Durham and Leschewski have played, it's a bigger lineup.
And this is Durham's statement to, hey, coach, I know you like the Trey Wirtz at the 4, allowing Leschewski to play the 5, but the Durham-Leschewski 4-5 lineup, it works, and it has tonight.
It was a split at the line that time by Durham, and a blocking foul called on Juwan Durham as Justin McCoy was working in the paint.
Don't get too cute, big fella. Remember, you're 6'11". You're a shot blocker. You're in position. You don't need to take that dive. You're moving your feet. You're working. You're in position. Although with that arm, it was close. I don't think you got enough from McCoy. I think Durham was still moving. That's the right whistle.
3rd foul on Juwan Durham, who stays in the game midway through this 2nd half. Clark faces up on Cormac Ryan and goes over the top. 15 for Kihei Clark.
Talk about carryover from the previous game. 19 versus Gonzaga. 15 here tonight. Kihei Clark showing I can do whatever's asked from me. Score, sign me up.
Cormac Ryan does not get the roll. He remains scoreless on an average of 10 a game. Yeah, the difference for Clark tonight in this one, no turnovers. McCoy too strong.
Juwan Durham played truth or dare with McCoy there. McCoy should have taken truth, understanding who he is. Instead, bought into the dare. Costly for the possession for Virginia.
Which got a double on Durham. He escaped it. Home the lob for Durham.
Juwan Durham, get this on CD tape, however they do it these days. Ship this out to the league, because this is the versatility that the next level is looking for with an athlete like him. Hasn't been consistent throughout his career, but showcasing in a package tonight what he's capable of doing when playing at a high level. Wow.
Yeah, for a guy who at times has left you wanting more if you're a Notre Dame fan, he has delivered tonight. Hauser answers back to a 2-possession game.
Virginia needed that one to stop the bleeding, stay in control.
Under 8 to go at Purcell Pavilion.
Along with Nate Leschewski.
They run a baseline out of bounds for Dane Goodwin. Got a good look, but can't cut it to a 1-possession game. Yeah, just 2 points for Hub in this one. Again, no Trey Wirtz. Jay Huff, meanwhile, on the Virginia bench with 4 fouls. Virginia, number 23 in the country, off the Gonzaga loss. Would be the best win of the young season for the Cavaliers. That's a tough 2 for Morcell.
It's a bad shot. At a critical time, it's a bad shot. It's settling. It's not taking the game through. Opportunity to build. Now Notre Dame can tighten this thing and put more pressure on Virginia.
Risky pass and a turnover by Hub. Morcell gave it up this time. Murphy off the bounce. Justin McCoy getting minutes here in crunch time. Morcell thought about it. Back iron. Offensive rebound. McCoy back up with it for 2.
McCoy's been active on the backboard. 4 rebounds, 4 points, and just 8 minutes of work, providing a lift when he stepped on the floor for the Cavaliers.
Leschewski, much needed for Notre Dame. And a quick timeout after the 3.
Ball. But ultimately, the hot hand of Nate Leschewski and the ability of Kihei Clark to make plays will be storylines as well.
Prentice Hub got fouled on the way up before the timeout. 3 points now for the junior, who averages 16.5. He is a fearless point guard for Notre Dame. And a chance now to cut it to 4. Does just that. We've talked about Virginia's defense. Remember, Mike Bray was saying the same thing. We've got to be able to get enough stops to get a win against a Power 5 team, against a ranked opponent. They trail by 4.
Kihei Clark posting up Cormac Ryan at 5'9".
Clark on the scoop to the rim, gets the roll.
Wow, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 5'9". Just giving him everything on the drive.
I mean, he's just
there.
slithering.
My man
by Cormac Ryan.
Called for it on a low block. Wanted it. Cormac Ryan is 6'5" versus 5'9" on the low block, people.
You see the 18 for Kihei Clark, a winner indeed.
It's a national
7-point margin. Leschewski left alone. Offensive rebound. Boy, you can't lose track of Leschewski the way he's going tonight. He's got 26. Durham's had an excellent night as well with 17. Shot clock winding down. Prentice Hub has been quiet. Finds Durham underneath for 2 more. 5-point game. An official's timeout here. And Casey
Juwan Durham all night long has done a fantastic job. The pick and roll sequences of being very
Pavilion. Huff back in with the 4 fouls. Reese Beekman into the game. Left it short. Hauser gets a 3rd chance at it. Hauser. Got it.
big time.
Just feels like Virginia's been able to grab that offensive rebound when they've needed to, and they get a stop and a strip of Hub.
Toughness from Hauser to battle in there, grab the rebound, and then have the confidence to take that 3 in that moment. 5 of 13, 3 of 8 from the day. Hasn't been the most efficient, but still confident.
Oh, good pass. Clark to find Hub, perhaps to stamp it. Leschewski on the drive, takes the bump, and he will shoot a pair.
So red shirt senior here. A freshman goes in, attacks the rim, can't get it. Fighting amongst 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Irish defenders. And then it comes back around with momentum to bang down the 3. Sam Hauser in the 11th hour delivering for this team.
He's got a double-double. And you said it when he hit that three-point shot earlier in this half. Just how much he needed that to drop down for him. And perhaps it has spurred him down the stretch.
Well, you talk about a team that needs one. It's not over yet. They need a win. and you get 15 from Clark. You get 0 turnovers from Clark. You get 15 from Huff, who delivered early on. 5 boards from him as well. And then, of course, you get these last few plays from Hauser when you need them. All old guys, established pieces of your program. Come winning time, you can count on.
8-point margin. Virginia handles the pressure, and Murphy smartly slows it down.
Got a foul.
Clark's an 85% free throw shooter for his career. And it just feels like, especially in the second half, Jordan, that Tony Bennett's point guard, Kihei Clark, he's just been in control. And you said it, no turnovers. He's been patient, and he's just played a whale of a game.
If you're going to look at a play that tells the story of Kihei Clark, the competitor, at 5'9", had a 6'5" defender on him in Cormac Ryan, and called for the ball on the low block like he was Ralph Sampson. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, that says to me, whatever it takes, I'm going to get us a win here on the road. That's incredible.
Hub, no. Leszewski, the offensive rebound. 25 ticks left. That's kicked by Beekman and out of bounds with 24.5 to go in the second half.
And if Who's fans don't appreciate me digging down and grabbing Sampson right there in that reference, I don't got anything else for you. I really don't.
Shower him with praise. Ralph Sampson the Great. Goodwin, no. Off another baseline, out of bounds. Virginia by 9 in the final 20 seconds. And Virginia comes into Purcell Pavilion. Leads the whole way. Notre Dame was hanging around, and the Cavaliers start ACC play with a victory in South Bend.
Like a Hellcat.